Welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel. It's Dave again. It is 9:03 and I'm going to go through my pre-market prep here. I don't think I've ever posted a video on how I prep for the market, so this is going to be super raw. I just opened my platform right now, so I haven't looked at anything, so I'm going to go through everything step by step how I would on a normal day before the market opens. So right here, first I like to look at my TPO, and I like to look at the very obvious signs on my TPO here. I can see in the on session we have a poor high. I can see in the on session we just made some excess into the lows. I can also see that we've got a naked point of control here by time back in the mid to low 60s. And I can see that we have some single prints down here that the market may want to fill in. Zoom down a little bit here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mark out some areas of interest. So we'll actually thin this out a little bit. I like looking for these single prints right here. This is an area in the past where the market has not spent much time, and it's usually thrusted through an area, stopping some people out, or putting a large momentum drive on, and it leaves liquidity behind. So the market likes to revisit these areas. Looking for a revisit of these single prints. Guys, this video is going to be super raw. Like this is what I do in the morning to prep for the market. And I just want to make it as real as possible here. Actually, we can probably do this here. We'll make this here in yellow. Make it epoch. Looking for make it back here. So looking for some support in this previous volume point of control. This could be a previous balance area. Well, it is a previous balance area. If the market gets into here, we could get two-way trade. We could get a quick reaction off the area and a drive to the upside back into imbalance, or the market could decide to accept price below this area. Okay, we're going to drop this guy on here again. Looking for the market to test the single print area. Okay, and we can't forget we've got to mark out the poor high. On session poor high. Okay, what I want to note as well here is if we look at the previous session, which is this session right here, this is yesterday's session, we look at this red triangle. This is the close, okay? This is the close of yesterday's session, and we notice that all of the action is trading below the close of yesterday's session, below the point of control of yesterday's session. This tells me that inventory is short in the overnight session. We are sweeping some previous daily pivot lows with a poor high. So if we can sweep the on-session low here, which is this purple line, we can sweep the on-session low into maybe this value area, single print type thing, we could possibly get short covers. And as soon as shorts start jumping over each other, we could get retrading back into the on-session high, the poor high, to possibly resolve that issue. And we could be trading back into balance, correcting in inventory here in the on session. So inventory is currently short. Looking for on low sweeps, short covers, and possible drives back to the on session poor high. Okay, so we know that balance in the on session here is trading in the lower portion of the range. We will obviously keep this number or this point of control in our mind throughout the trading day. So 4775. If we get any trading like this back into 4775, this is going to have to be some sort of target because we could two-way trade balance and then trade back down to pick up some single prints or volume point of controls down here. So we'll definitely keep that in mind going into the session. This is about it for my TPO. What I like to do here is I'll screenshot this. Perfect. And I'll move on to my next chart. Let's pull this up over here. Okay. This is more of a profile chart. So we're looking at more of a volume profile type chart. This is going to show some 7-day, 7-day rolling, 2-week, 30-day, 60-day volume profiles, as well as 90-minute profiles right here. So what I'm looking at on this chart, we'll just get the white out. Okay, so what I'm looking at on this chart here are a few things. This little low volume node here on the 90-minute, I want to see if price can reclaim this low volume node, possibly hold this area and start driving to the upside, or we get a fail, sweep on low, and then we can come back and retest these ranges. It's very important that we get through this low volume node, hold it, respect it, build some bids in this area, and then we start driving to the upside. This high right here on the 90-minute is pretty ledgy. You see how there's a large ledge at these highs? It's not exactly tapered off nicely like these lows are and these highs are. There's a ledge at the high. It tells me there's some sort of incomplete auction there, and that incomplete auction is likely being that poor high in the on session. So I'll mark this out, and I'm just going to write in here LVN because I know exactly what I'm looking for within this LVN. As for price overhead, I don't see anything overhead that I'm seriously interested in. This 4,800 is going to be a psych area. If price can get back up into that area, we could trade for targets of 4,800. There are a lot of points of control volume on the 2-week and 7-day profiles here. So we'll leave that chart at that. I'll pull this back over here. We will expand this guy. And what I like to look for here is, first off, let's scroll back and we'll figure out where major pivots are and where on-session high pivots are. So we've got on-session here at 4,800 and we've got 4,785. So 4,800, 4,785. Those are going to be major pivot areas. So if we look on this chart for the 85, which is this pivot high right here, is this a clean high? What type of high is this? To me, this is a 1 out of 3 high. It's not very clean. We only have a zeroed out auction. We don't have sell side imbalances in the top 3 ticks, and we're not failing to accept very well here. So this is a high that could get revisited at some point today. If we can drop down in the market, find a bid, start driving to the upside and squeezing shorts, this could be targets on the day. So I will keep that in mind. 85 for targets on the day if we can get any longs. If we get below the on-session low, I will likely be just, and accept and hold below on-session low, I will likely be just looking for shorts. Okay, so this 4,800 right here, this is a poor high on our TPO. Price comes up and it tests this area multiple times. This high that it put in right here is very ledgy with buyers. There's lots of buyers putting aggression on into these highs. They start getting stopped out. This high right here is a 2 out of 3 high. We have selling, a 0. We're not failing to accept to the buy side very well. This area is an area I would be looking at getting retested. I don't know if this is going to happen today, but I do want to keep in mind that 4,800 is a psych area. It's put in a poor high on the TPO chart, and I will be looking for price to trade back into that area at some point. Let's go to one more chart here if I can find it. Guys, I know all this pre-market prep is, it can get boring, but this is what I do. Okay, we're going to unmerge all the merges in this profile. So this is the TPO that I use to make composites. And how do I make composites? Well, I look at overlapping volume profiles. So these blue areas, or overlapping volume and overlapping time profiles. Okay, so these blue areas as well as these lighter gray areas right here. Any of them that are overlapping, like for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to make that into a composite profile. So on CR chart, I right click, I merge with prior, merge with prior, merge with prior profile. Okay, now I have that whole range in one single period. It makes it much easier to read. If I've got prints like this, and then value areas are trading lower, I cannot turn this into a composite. We have no overlap. Typically what I like is if you're looking at volume value area like this, low, high, high, low, I like to see this value area high at least overlapping 50% of the prior profile's range. When I see that, I'll turn it into a composite. For the sake of the exercise, we could scroll back a little bit here. So for example, something like this, like you know, these two would get composite here. I would gel these two together. I would possibly, no, I probably wouldn't put that guy in. We'll zoom back. I was kind of hoping we could find something very easy, very simple to not get this video off track. Here we go. Okay, so something like this, right? Like all of these here, or at the very minimum, these, we could merge all of these into a composite profile just to see where the fair value is within that range. It will make it much easier rather than looking at each single day profile. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. And we will go to our last chart to just get our high-level overview. Okay, let's delete some of these guys just so it doesn't interrupt our video here. Okay, start with our daily chart here. We're trading up at a very nice range. All-time high seems to be sitting up at that 4841. Perfect. And then we've got a pivot low down here that I will actually mark. I'll actually drag, I'll drag this guy up here and drop this guy on it. Okay, that's a very nice pivot low, holding a larger range here. Currently we're on a huge uptrend, so we'll see if we can get some pullbacks. In these uptrends, what I like to see is I like to see pullbacks below areas on session low, hold, catch a bid, drive to the upside type thing. We could possibly attack this area right down here, which is perfectly fine, and I actually prefer that for the bigger picture play. But since we're just day trading and essentially scalping the markets intraday, I'm looking for the big picture idea, but then we need to drill down and find the plays that we want to take intraday that make sense. So all in all, what I'm doing here today is I'm waiting for the market to open. I want to see the reaction below the on session low sweep. We know that we have 47.85 as a really good target. That was a previous pivot high that we looked at on our TPO that wasn't great either, or on our footprint that wasn't great. We've got these point of controls here, and depending on how the market opens, if we can drop below on session low, leave some excess down here, we can look for trades and drives back into the 75s, even 85 area. If we retest the 4800s, I'd be surprised, but it could definitely happen. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Trade safe today. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Any questions that you guys have, I will get back to every single one of your comments in the comment section. Have a great day. Trade safe. Cheers.